Hello again. Welcome back to Edible Abundance Homestead. I just came up with that name a few days ago. I finally made the YouTube channel and uploaded my first video. It took me like 2 weeks to do it, but now it's done. So now hopefully I'll be uploading videos a lot quicker. My goal is going to be within like maybe 2 days after filming. So this is the end of April and it's gotten very nice here. The temperatures have been in like the 70s during the day and the 50s at night. We do have a couple cold nights coming up tonight and probably tomorrow night. And then it's like highs in the 70s and lows in the upper 50s every day and night. So a lot is happening very quickly now. Everything that's planted is growing fast. I'm getting ready to plant my summer crops. I'm hoping to do that in the next few days. I'm going to wait until after these next 2 cold nights pass, I think. Just because the difference between the lows in the 40s and the lows close to 60, that's a pretty big difference. I'd rather wait. They're fine in their pots for a few more days. A lot's happened. I've done a lot of work, a lot's changed, a lot's gotten done, so let's walk around and take a look at everything. Okay, so up first, I have never shown you my plant starts that I started from seed. I've started from seed for a few years now with not great success. This is the first year I've bought the more serious grow lights. I've used grow lights before, but they just weren't, I didn't have enough of them. And I got the shelves so that I could put the lights down closer to the plants too. So at some point I'll show that, but since today is a pretty nice day, I'm getting ready to plant everything out. They need to be outside hardening off. So as you can see, I have a whole bunch of tomatoes planted. We've got some okra, some squash, some different types of flowers. I've got nasturtiums for the first time, marigolds. There are peppers, there are eggplants, there are zinnias. Here are some melons and a bean plant. A few herbs. I'm really having mixed success with the herbs. I might just try to direct sow some herbs. These are basil, a couple different types of basil. And then over here, the overflow area, more nasturtiums and the herbs that, like I said, are not doing so great. And some of my slower sprouters, some beans, which I just planted like a couple days ago. And some okra that really took a long time to sprout too. All right, from here, kids' bikes, of course. I went to Lowe's the other day. They had these bulbs for 90% off. I just should not be allowed to go to Lowe's this time of year. It's just a bad idea for me. So I have all these bulbs, no idea where we're going to put them. The front of our house, which I've never shown you and I will sometime, has pretty much all the flowers it can take. I grabbed this raised bed soil there. We don't do raised beds, but I have this leftover raised bed box that used to be in our chicken run, and I put hardware cloth over it so that the plants could grow up through the hardware cloth. The chickens could eat tops of the plants, but not kill the whole plant. At this point, there are too many chickens. They're too big. I was having to fix the hardware cloth every other day. So we pulled it out, and we're going to put it, actually, we're going to set it down right there where it's, by where it's leaning. Fill it with dirt. And I think I'm going to try some mint in there. I want to have mint, but I don't want it to take over my entire garden. I don't really have a great area to put it in, and my husband came up with this awesome idea actually to make a little raised bed for it with what we already had. All right, from there, kids were out riding bikes until there was a tragic accident and someone fell. All right, so here's the mobile coop. The mobile coop has been moved yesterday morning. While the chickens were still locked up, I picked up the coop and I wheeled them over here, and we have this little connection right here so that I could just open the door and let them out into the run with the stationary coop with the rest of the chickens. There's way too many chickens in here right now, but That'll change. It's spring. Things are changing. So here we've got, it's like mostly the big girls out here. A few of the medium-sized chickens, I guess we'll say, are probably hiding in the coop. I just tossed them a ton of weeds out of the garden, so they're in chicken heaven right now. Yep, here are my medium-sized chickens. Here's Hey Hey. We call her Hey Hey. She's the white-crested black Polish. And she's Hey Hey because if you've ever seen the movie Moana, she acts a lot like Hey Hey. Like now when she's running into things and me. Here's my babies. They're doing pretty good. Eating a lot, growing. I'm really looking forward to not having chickens under heat lamps. It'll come. There's 2 more Hey Heys back there. Because we started with 4 of them. They were my daughter's choice. And like I said, they're just... Chickens are not the smartest animals. For some reason, these chickens are exceptionally not smart. Hello, Mr. Rooster. So, last night was the first night that all of the chickens were together. I came out this morning, and there was something awful. So, I had the hen that had like a sore on her head. And I had moved her over here earlier to give her a chance to heal away from the big guys. So I came out this morning. She's going to run away. I don't know if you can see now because my camera is focusing on the fencing instead of on the chickens. I don't know how well you can see this. Her head is just pecked awful. It looks like something took a giant bite out of the back of her head. She was so close to being healed. She had a little scab left. I really thought she'd be okay with the big ones in there, and I came out and saw her and was just horrified. So I put her in here, and of course she wasn't really happy being in here, so I thought I'd put a few of these medium-sized chickens in here with her, keep her some company, and it's good too because they're smaller than the big ones, so they're not getting as much food, they're getting pushed around a little bit. These were the ones that I was able to just catch. I might come out tonight and put the rest of this size out here. So then what I will do is that coop will line up with this door. This is what I use for my meat chickens in the summer. The coop sits alongside it and the 2 doors connect. And then I can just move them around and they can sleep at night in that coop. I got to get that coop moved over here though. I don't love this. I was really excited to only have one area of chickens to be worried about feeding and watering. And if it had just been a small bit of blood and damage, I probably would have left her in there, but it's pretty awful. So hopefully this will give her a chance to heal up. I guess I'm just gonna have to be real careful before I put her back in there. I have blue coat, which is supposed to help with healing and prevent pecking because it's blue and the chickens peck at the red blood. They don't see the blue or they don't notice the blue. So I think when I put her back, I'll have to really cover her head in that to hopefully prevent it from happening again. So anyway, so that would be the chicken status right now. Let's move over to the garden area because the chickens are out. Big things are happening over there. Okay, so over here along this fence line, my kids planted sunflowers today. So that's super fun and exciting. They grow so tall, they're so pretty. Gives my kids something to help with. The seeds are easy for the little hands to handle. Raspberry patch is going nuts. And even more nuts is the strawberry patch. Look at these beautiful plants. Look at all the flowers in here. They look amazing. I'm so excited. I would love to get a good strawberry harvest this year. Garlics are looking good. Here is my oregano. The oregano, if you didn't know, oregano is closely related to mint, and it gets out of control the same way mint does. So, That right there would be more oregano where it doesn't belong. I just pulled oregano out of this spinach area over here where it also doesn't belong. So when you're planting oregano, plant it like mint because it grows like mint. No more chickens in the garden, hooray! And instead we have 5 cattle panels up to support our tomato plants and hopefully also ground cherry plants, but I'm having a real struggle getting them to germinate and grow. In here we've started picking radishes to eat. They're delicious. We had a great salad today with radishes from our garden, eggs from our chickens. We could have picked this lettuce. I had some lettuce I grabbed at the store. I think we're going to have some of this on some burgers tonight. The spinach looks great. I've been adding spinach to smoothies. I need to freeze some of it for smoothies for the kids. I weeded here, as you can see. This Swiss chard survived tilling. It survived the winter, and then it survived tilling. So, it gets to stay as long as it wants. Here is some beautiful dill and a few little cilantros. I have the hardest time growing cilantro for some reason. Some little tiny radishes. So, funny story, I was out here weeding and I was over here and I weeded this plant right here because I mean, what's a weed? It's something that's growing where you don't want it to grow. Pulled it up, there was a potato attached to it. Apparently, at some point last year, I threw some potato chunks in here. Probably, you know, I cut off the end or something. The chickens don't eat raw potatoes. And it sprouted and it grew. And so we're growing potatoes. And so I reburied it and it gets to stay. We'll see how that goes. I have grown potatoes once before. It wasn't overly successful. Then I saw this over here and realized it also looks like a potato plant. So they can stay. We'll see what happens. I just thought it was really funny when I pulled up a weed and it wasn't a weed. Well, again, what's a weed? But it was a potato. I've got my kale over here looking good. And some more chard. Some newly planted spinach. I planted that this spring. I've got radishes and I have noodle beans coming up along my trellis. My peas are really starting to climb now. I'm super excited about these peas. They're going to be a lot of fun. I think they're the purple potted peas. Well, half are purple potted and half are green potted, regular snap peas. And then the beets. Look how huge these are getting so fast. I need to probably go through and thin them out. These are carrots. I'm really hoping the carrots are big enough before it gets too hot. We'll see how the spring goes. And there's the rest of the radishes. Oh, that's a cauliflower. I also have a couple broccolis, a couple cabbages, and a couple Brussels sprouts just kind of slipped in places here. My neighbor has a greenhouse and I bought these from her. She sells her plants every spring. And so since I didn't start my brassicas early enough, I grabbed a few from her. Then one last area. These are more kale. Let's see, is that it? I think that might be it. I need to get my fence put back up around the garden. We had something digging in here last night. Apparently there was like a big hole in the middle of the garden. So, other end here. Oh, here's some. Yeah, here's my couple more of mine newly planted brassicas. There's broccolis. Oh, and look right here. Look at those beauties. Grow, little tomatoes, grow. Tomatoes. Strawberries, of course. Strawberries. I'm really excited for tomatoes. If you couldn't tell, I've got tomatoes on the brain. Alrighty. Oh, here's one more thing. While we're out and about, walking around, I cannot believe how well this parsley has come back. It was down to like Just two little, mostly dead plants, and it just bounced right back like nothing. I didn't put any seeds out. Well, I didn't put any parsley seeds out here. This is all parsley. This is, I believe this is cilantro that reseeded itself because I had cilantro planted here last year and it went to seed. I planted oregano over here. I'm not seeing any oregano. Maybe it's there. Maybe that's some of these little guys are oregano. I don't know. But yeah, this parsley's just nuts. I planted more parsley too, and apparently I didn't need to. I planted some in the garden near one of the arches, and apparently didn't need to. So anyway, I should probably cut some of that back, cut some of the oregano back, and dry some herbs already. All right.